The way that you deal with someone who is being just for lack of a better phrase, fucking a-hole, being a dick, being just someone who a douche, right? Someone who's trying to give you a hard time, is being disrespectful. The best way to deal with that, I'm gonna give it to you here, okay? Excuse me, if this is something sorry, just got out from the gym, just had a lot of food and some drink, so excuse me there. The best way to deal with them is what I'm gonna teach you, okay? And I've had my fair share of a-holes and dicks and douchebags to deal with in my life, like we all do. Every man will come across it. So here's what I recommend. I'm gonna give you a few ways to do it, okay? And what I've learned as I've evolved and grown. Sometimes when things have gone far enough, thinking and feeling better about it, manifesting it, in a more spiritual way, isn't enough. Like it's too far gone if it's in the moment. So one of the best things to do is to fucking give it right back to them. Okay? So the easiest way to shut up an asshole is to be an asshole. The easiest way to bully a bully is to give it right back to them. And when you do, you only have to do it fucking once. If you do it fucking once, they'll never do it again. They won't, right? Because they will be afraid of you. They will be afraid that, wow, someone actually stepped up to them. And I've gone through this, and I've done it, and I've been successful every single fucking time. Okay? And so, even though there's, a nice guy inside of me, like there is in you, and I believe in being loving and joyous, I like to believe that the world is a friendly place. I like to be friends with everyone. I like to make others happy. I like to bring out the best in people. I say hello to strangers, right? I want to create a happy earth, a utopian place. But sometimes there will be a few motherfuckers who, for whatever reason, think for some reason that they can get away with being douchebags. Now, this doesn't happen to me anymore, actually, because I feel like the aura, the energy I give off is just don't fuck with me, right? But when I was younger, for sure, it happened, right? So if this is something you're still dealing with, it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be in your 80s and still dealing with it. That's the solution, right? Is you give it right back to them. Now, this will feel scary because you may be afraid, well, if I give it right back to them, or if I talk back, or if I shut them up, or if I say something, then what if they attack? What if they try to punch me? What if they try to fight, right? That's a legitimate fear. But I'd much rather you be willing in your mind to go there, that I'm going to respect myself enough. I'm willing to even let this get, if it gets physical, get my ass kicked if they're stronger than me. I'm willing to go there, but I'm not willing to sacrifice my own respect. I'm not willing to be a fucking pussy. I'm not willing to allow myself to just take shit from people for no reason, right? So I think if you develop that mindset, if you keep telling yourself that, like you're willing for the worst case scenario to happen, it's never gonna happen. Like it's never gonna happen. Like it's never gonna get that bad, right? If it does in that situation, you can maneuver it, right? Be smart about it. But I think if you're just, I think if you're even willing to allow it to go there, like I have many times, and you just tell people off, you tell them to fuck off, or tell them to shut the fuck up, they will back off. They will, right? All they need is to get that same energy back from you. And that's enough, right? No one wants to physically fight. No one wants to get hurt. Both people get hurt in that, right? So you have a tongue, you have your voice, you have your energy, you have your body language, you have your fucking attitude. Use it, okay? So, and this may come like a change because maybe you've been people pleasing someone for a long time. Maybe they've known you a certain way for several years. And so you think, well, I have to kind of transition to being this new version of me. No, you don't. I give you permission right now. Be a fucking asshole right back to them. Right now. Starting right now. The next time they fucking say something, talk back. They won't like it. Right? They may say something back. Continue. Right? Be a fucking asshole. Right? I am going to encourage this to everyone. If someone's being a fucking asshole to you, you give it right fucking back to them. Right? Most of us weren't taught this because we were taught to, turn our cheek and blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's just so stupid. Especially in a man's world, that stuff doesn't apply. Like I said, I believe in kindness. I believe in peace. I don't like to start stuff with anyone. But if someone starts shit with me, I'll be the one to finish it, for damn sure. And I used to care a lot about well, so and so will think this of me, or certain people will think this of me, or certain people will think I'm a bad person or I'm mean, you know? And then I realized, fuck them. I don't give a fuck. Because if that is all they want to judge me on, and they want to take away everything else of who I actually am as a person, they want to judge me on one action or what I did or said to someone who was already being a fucking asshole or a bitch, that's on them. I don't even care about their judgment, nor do I need them to like me, right? And that's the other thing. Like, you needing people to like you is a big problem. I want everyone to love and respect me, every single person, right? That's one of my affirmations. But in the rare occasion that someone doesn't, it's okay, because we're humans. This life is not meant to be just perfect all the time, right? It's okay to have some people who don't like you. It's totally fine, right? You can live a life where it never comes back to you. You can live a life where you're kind of ignorant about it, not ignorant, but like blissfully ignorant, where you don't really know. If someone's talking about you behind your back, that's kind of the position I'm in. If they are, I don't know about it, right? So it doesn't affect me. And I think you have to be okay with that. Usually, this is in family situations, relative situations, friend situations, work situations. Tell those motherfuckers off. Be willing for it to get as bad as it needs to be, but stand up for yourself. Like I said, it will be hard. But the only thing harder is you continuing to be a fucking pussy, which I know you're not. I know you're not, so stop acting like one, right? Act like the motherfucker you are, strong, confident, not taking shit from anyone. So that's that. That's it. Now, beyond that, I want to get into a couple of other things. Spiritually speaking, I believe that what you dominantly think about the world, the people around you, is what will be reflected back to you. So, one of the things I want you to start doing is to start affirming, thinking in your mind that you live in a friendly universe. I started doing this about a few months ago, and it's drastically just changed things. I mean, people have, generally treated me with respect and love anyway, but I've noticed enhancement even in that, right? I've noticed I feel better as well, right? There's lots of situations, maybe you go into a gym after months and you feel really intimidated, right? You'll be like, if you literally start to believe, like, no, I live in a friendly universe, right? Everyone at the gym will come up, like the big dudes, like who seem really scary and stuff, will come up and be like, hey, what's up? Or they'll, give you like that nod, like what's up nod and stuff, right? And then you'll start to see like, whoa, the universe is a friendly place. That's pretty crazy. It's like as if my thoughts manifest, right? So I think that's like a good one for you just to have in general. Anytime, I know a lot of you guys deal with social anxiety. I deal with it myself. I'm extremely confident. I'm extroverted and introverted. What's the word for that? Ambivert? I forgot. Like based on who you're with, right? Based on the energy you're getting. So I can be both, but I'm human. There's not a single human on the planet at some point who doesn't feel some sort of social anxiety or fear. It just depends who you're with, right? And you could be the most confident motherfucker in the world. You're still gonna feel it at some point. I think that's good because it like we know we're alive because we're feeling something, right? But it shouldn't be to the point where you're debilitated, where you're afraid to go out in public or speak up. It takes practice, but I think if you continue to have the belief, something along the lines of like, yeah, I live in a friendly universe, right? Or I mentioned this earlier, another one I'll give you, it's everyone loves and respects me. Everyone loves and respects me. Everyone loves and respects me. Everyone loves and respects me, right? Continue to think that, embody being that, be that version of you by thinking as them, right? And the more and more you do that consistently, just like anything else, it'll become your reality. Okay? Because I genuinely don't even want you to ever be in a position or in the place of having to defend yourself or having to tell someone off or having to tell someone to fuck off, right? I don't want you to ever be there. But I mentioned that at the beginning of this video because sometimes things have gone too far down in the negative way that it's impossible for you to just be like, hey, I'm going to work on myself internally, because that may take way too long based on where you are, right? If the car is going at 100 miles per hour, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to turn. It's going to spin. It's going to crash, right? So it just depends, like which one, like how strong the momentum is with that person on that particular subject, and based on that, you take care of shit, right? So beyond that, like I said, have excuse me, general affirmations where you literally just think to yourself, I live in a friendly universe. Everyone loves and respects me, right? Okay, good. Now, beyond that, I think the next thing that I just want to touch on is one of the ways for you to, actually, there's many ways, right? To feel more confident in general so that, you know, people don't mistreat you is for you to love yourself and respect yourself. So, in order for you to respect and love yourself, there's many different things you can think and do. I want you to pick the things that will make you feel like you can love and respect yourself more, right? Because I can give you a list of stuff, but it may not apply to you. Okay. So one of the things that made me feel very much more like I respect and love myself more was going after the thing I wanted to do, which is creating an online business, working for myself, proving to the whole fucking world you're wrong. I fucking did it, bitch. Right? Proving to them that I could create my own reality, that I could work for myself, live a life of freedom, not have a 9 to 5, not have a boss. That made me feel very confident. It was a long journey, but I would do it all over again. Right? The process of it made me feel confident. Even when I had no money building it, I felt confident just because I was pursuing and chasing something that I was fucking passionate about. It was my thing, you know? So that's one way. Another thing that I'm doing right now is I'm being very consistent with building my body this year. Right, I've been ups and down. You guys know the story. I've been up and down with it for many years. Right, built some good muscle, but I've decided to make it a non-negotiable. And so, just came back from the gym like a few minutes, half an hour ago, and I'm being very disciplined. I'm making that my non-negotiable. Right, Monday through Friday, go to the gym, and I'm working on my nutrition as well. Trying to get my protein in. Trying to keep it 20% sugar and flour for now, 80% eating a little cleaner, right? For the next few months. So that's making me feel more confident because when you work on your body, I think, I just think if you lift, you will feel more confident, right? I mean, there's all the sciences there physiologically. You don't have to be the strongest guy. You don't have to be the biggest guy. You could be scrawny, you could be short, doesn't matter. But if you start lifting, you will start to feel like a badass, right? You'll start to feel more confident. Just like when after I lift, like you know how your muscles get harder, right? Just like the hardness of the muscle, the soreness, like it makes you feel stronger. And guess what? When you feel stronger, you feel more confident. So I would say that's one of the easiest ones. Even if you can't afford a gym membership or you can't go to a gym right now, just do little workouts at home, right? Literally just do push-ups at home, right? Take those milk gallon things and just like do bicep curls, right? There's so many home workouts you can look up on YouTube. Just start small. Start with 1 minute a day, 5 minutes a day, work your way up, even if you haven't been active. Okay. So I think that walking also helps. Like I think just any kind of physical movement makes you more confident. It does. Okay. Not only does it release endorphins, so it makes you happier, but I do believe it makes you more confident. So that's another one. And then another one for me has been just speaking up more, asking for the things I want, and sometimes being a little difficult, but not in a way where I'm trying to be difficult, but like customer service, right? If someone's doing a bad job, I have no problem calling them out. Now I try to be respectful and nice because they're human, they're just doing their job, maybe they're new at work, whatever, right? But a lot of people, they'll get the wrong order. The condiments missing, like little things. The hotel room doesn't have, something that it was supposed to have. Something was supposed to be done, people just let it go. I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm like, no, if I'm paying for something, if this is what's expected, I will get it, right? As a business owner, for me, customer service is number one. If my customer at any time, if they have a complaint, right, I will be the first person to apologize and to alleviate that situation, to correct it, to do my part, to give them an amazing experience, right? So I'm very big on that. And I see a lot of people don't speak up. I also feel like when you don't speak up in social situations, when it comes to things you're paying for, things you're supposed to get, I feel like you become less confident, right? So even if people don't respond to you, even if you don't get what you want, even if by speaking up you still didn't get what you want, you develop confidence because you're willing to speak up when you're supposed to, right? If you're paying for something, if you're supposed to get a certain service or product a certain way, you have to speak up. I believe that's made me very confident. I started doing this many years ago, probably I would say like in my late teens, probably in my early 20s, right? But I would say the more and more I did that, because I didn't see a lot of other people around me doing it, and it kind of bothered me. I'm like, why aren't you fucking speaking up? if this is happening, right? It could be small things. Even if there's someone treating you a certain way, it doesn't happen to me often, but if there's been like a waiter who's rude or whatever, I will literally tell them to fuck. Like I don't tell them, I don't cuss at them, right? But I'll call their manager. I'll be like, hey, call your manager. And I'll let the manager know, like, hey, so and so has an attitude. I'm not paying for that. I need someone else, and they need to fix their fucking attitude, right? And I've done that, and then and literally, and the manager will apologize. They'll send someone else. Other person will be really nice. I'll get the experience that I demand, right? So you have to speak up because there's no reason for you to be disrespected. I don't ever disrespect anyone, right? I don't ever initiate that. But if someone's coming at me with a bad attitude, I'm not going to tolerate it. Especially if it's something I'm paying for, some sort of experience, service, product. I can't take it. When I was fairly young, I think I was in my teens, maybe I was 18, 19. We were at the post office and there was a woman there who, you guys know how some of these government workers are. If you're one of them, hopefully you're a nice one. I've seen some nice ones too. If you're not, fuck you, right? Because I don't know, they make pennies, they make shit. They think they're like on top of the world. They think they have a right to mistreat everybody. Same thing at DMV. I don't know. Everyone's just like crazy there. But this lady there, she was talking down to every single person who was colored, right? And so this is a black woman. I'm just going to clarify that. This wasn't a white woman. This is a black woman. So racism can come from people who are also, a victim of racism, right? It is what it is. So there was a Chinese couple, elderly couple, and she was talking so fucking rudely to them. They were just asking her simple questions. They were confused. They understood English, but she saw that they weren't really gonna fight back with her. They were gonna take her attitude, so she was really giving them attitude. I was enraged. I cannot handle people being disrespected and talked too badly. Like I just can't. I will be the guy to step in and stop that shit. And I've been told by people, don't do it. It's their problem. Why are you getting involved? I just can't do that. I can't do that. I can't watch someone being hurt or abused verbally and just sit back and watch. Again, for me, that's a weak man. That's not a strong man. There's times where you have to be smart about it, assess the situation. Maybe it's not worth getting involved. And there's other times where most of the times you should say something, right? And I was very young at this time. So when it came to our turn, I was already like enraged with her, right? I just wanted to cuss her out, right? So she did the same thing with us, okay? And she said something rude because we had some question about a passport and et cetera, et cetera. So she wasn't helping us. She was being extremely rude. And she said something like, go back to the country you came from and get the birth certificate from there, right? Something about passport. I was born and raised here in the US, right? So I told her that. Not as nicely as I'm telling you, right? Because she just assumed, because I'm brown, that I wasn't born and raised here, that I'm not American like her. So I chewed her the fuck out in front of everyone, And I remember, like, I had relatives there. They were like, hey, like, it's okay, don't argue with her. I didn't give a fuck. I gave it right back to her. And she got pissed, I got pissed. I continued giving it back to her, right? And I'm so glad I did because something in her changed. She realized that she cannot continue being that way with everyone. One, she also probably realized stop being a fucking racist and assuming anyone who's colored isn't from the country. And there's just so many layers to it. This isn't even about racism. This is just about respect, like talking to people like they're below you, right? I cannot stand that. So I'm happy I told her off because I felt better doing that and she got what she deserved. And I know it made a difference. Even if it didn't change her completely, I know it made a difference, right? In the way that she is going to talk to others because she knows not everyone's going to take shit from her. So I think things like that are very important. And I love that quality about myself, right? Sometimes it may be seen as extreme, but I think it's necessary. Like I said, I don't ever go in and start something negative with someone. But if someone's being a fucking asshole or a bitch again and again and again and again and again, or even once in a very extreme way, I will say something. And if they have a problem with it, fuck them. I've had to do this with relatives, very rarely. Almost 99.9% of my relatives all love and respect me. I have a great relationship with them. But there's a few motherfuckers, right? Couple of motherfuckers who I've had to do this with, and I would do it all over again. right? No fucking problem doing it. And with friends, I never really had to do it because I don't keep friends like that anyway, right? They would just fall off. But if I've ever had to, there's been a couple of situations, social situations that weren't really friends, where I had to tell them to fuck off as well, right? And so just don't be afraid of doing that, because I think it's much more important for you to draw boundaries and to respect yourself more than anything else. When you start to respect yourself, when you start to speak up, others will respect you. And you're not like, we all want to be respected by others, but you want to do this to respect yourself. When your respect level for yourself is the highest, you're untouchable, right? A lot of things will just go your way. You'll walk around the world getting shit done, getting the things you want, being the king of your reality, right? So that's what I kind of leave you with today. And so this is a controversial topic. I know that, some of my own people in my community and stuff may see this video and may think like, oh my God, I can't believe he's teaching this. I don't care, right? I don't give a fuck. They're not my audience, right? This is for you. So hopefully this helps, and hopefully it helps you deal with someone who may be trying to bully you or be a fucking asshole or disrespect you. Tell them off. Tell them off in front of everyone. Let it turn into a crazy big argument, right? Like, I don't like to create scenes in public settings. I'd much rather deal with that person one-on-one, right? Now that I've matured a bit more, now that I've seen the consequences and ripple effects of all those things. But if it has to be in front of everyone, do it in front of everyone. Like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The people who truly know who you are and love you for who you are will stand by you even after that. And the people who don't, who never did, who never really give a fuck about you, won't. It'll be very evident and clear to see, like who's with you and who's not. So again, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to tell people off. And when it comes to touchy subjects like parents, especially if you're Desi, South Asian, there's a nuance to that, right? Because I'm very, very close to my parents. I hate when like guys and girls who aren't even close to their parents, who don't fucking do anything for them at all, try to give advice on how to deal with parents, right? Or they talk to them a few times a year. I'm like, what? who you're not even entitled to give one piece of advice, right? That's a whole different topic. But if you are close to your parents like I am, and you do a lot for them and you do take care of them and all those good things, then there's nuances with that too, right? Because sometimes you and your parents will not get along, especially as you get older and you have more of your own opinions and more of your own desires that differ from theirs. So I'll create a different video for that. But this was more for, people aside from parents, I think, who are just giving you a hard time. And sometimes it may be a boss. Sometimes it may be a coworker. And money may be involved. You're like, if I tell this coworker or boss to fuck off, then my money will be jeopardized. So in those situations, again, be strategic about it. Speak up enough to where you won't get fired, right? And enough to where it'll kind of make a difference. So they'll be like, oh, this guy actually has a fucking spine. He has some balls, right? Start to do that. Even if it's you just completely doing a 180, they're not used to this version of you, start doing it. It will be extremely uncomfortable the first few weeks of you doing this, being this version of yourself, but I promise you it'll pay off for life, right? And even in a job situation, quickly you'll realize, like, fuck this. I'm going to find a better job. And a better job will fall into your lap that pays you more, where you're happier, where you're more respected. Or you'll end up staying in that one, and people will just treat you better, right? I've learned a lot from my situations at the workplace, my rotations, the jobs I've had at the hospitals, in other companies. I've done jobs from selling Dish Network and AT&T services to performing surgery on patients, right? So quite a big spectrum there. And I can tell you I've learned a lot about how, in those situations as well, how to be respected. And if someone's giving you a hard time, how to deal with it, right? You give it right back to them. They're showing you an attitude, you show them an attitude, right? If they're doing something, you call them out on it. You let them know, like, hey, that's not gonna fly with me. You can't talk to me that way, right? You let them know once firmly, I promise you, they will stop. You only have to give it back to them one time, right? That's it. You only have to fight a bully once. That's it. And again, I think the hardest part is You unconditioning yourself from trying to be the nice guy who gets along with everyone, right? I want to be the guy who gets along with everyone. I do. But I don't really care about being the nice guy. I want to be the powerful guy, the kind guy. I think being kind is different from being nice, right? Kindness is like I can choose to show up as the best version of myself, maybe do kind acts for people, maybe, be friendly, right? Have a good demeanor when I meet someone or talk to someone. But my goal isn't to be the nice guy. Because, like, that's just kind of, in many cases, being weak and being a pushover. So don't be that. Okay? Be the strong, kind guy. Be the kind guy who doesn't take shit from others, right? And the more and more you do this, the cool thing is that it'll become who you are. So you won't even come across situations where you are being disrespected or anything else because it's just who you are now. So people won't fuck with you in that way. They'll just stop. So it's kind of cool how it works if you start to do this. All right, my friend, hope that was helpful. If you did find this helpful, and if you'd like more content like this, I invite you to come join me in my Kings Club community. It's where we meet weekly. We have weekly group coaching calls where we talk about this. You can ask questions. There's a brotherhood. It's a growing community. We meet in person as well throughout the year, so you can hang out with me in person and the rest of the guys. And of course, we have Q&A, and it's a place where you can just be yourself, be vulnerable, talk about all the challenges and struggles you're having, whether it's trying to build a freedom business online, whether it's trying to feel better as a man, feel more confident, you know, manifest a dream relationship, all the things basically that I've been able to do through lots of ups and downs and trial and error and have successfully been able to do and now can teach others, right? So it's a safe space, it's a community that you can belong to, because I think one of the things missing these days is belonging. I think men feel very, very lonely, and the fact that we'll be meeting in person, hanging out in person as well, will really set this apart, because it's not just going to be a virtual thing, but we'll all have the opportunity to hang out in person as well and share in person energy and create lifelong bonds. So if you're interested, go ahead and click the link in the show notes below or in the first comment, and I'll see you inside. Lots of love.